Hi and welcome to another daily power list analysis. In this video, we're not going to talk about individual stocks. We're going to look at the overall candidates because it's easy to show the winning trades, the trades that are easy. But this list, which was the day before yesterday, made of 13 stocks. Yesterday there were already 18 stocks. So now you have to jingle amongst gainers, losers, your favorite stocks, and this list if you want to even look at it. I suggest you do, because here it brings in a lot of stocks that have an immense power over the rest of the market thanks to this range percentage, let's call it signal, indicator, parameter, whatever you want to call it. But this is a powerful, very powerful tool for day traders, because this number shows how big the daily range is between the highs and the lows relative to the price. And if the number is very low, you cannot make any money. If the number is very high, the chances increases substantially, and obviously that's where you want to be as a day trader. Of course, there are many other indicators and factors, and but we're not going to discuss them right now. Let's take a look at some examples. So if we're going to go to the number one stock on the list here, why it's number one? Because they are sorted according to percentage change, where the biggest winner is at the top and the biggest loser out of this list, of course, is at the bottom. So let's go to AVAV, Aero Environment, whatever that means, and let's see how the stock reacted. Basically, how did it made it into our list anyway. Now, sometimes, I don't know if it is 20% of the times, a stock gaps up, runs very fast, either with a gap up or with the first minutes, and then it's gone for the rest of the trading day. So now I'm talking about this stock, which is gapped from 190 to 240. That's roughly 20%. And what happened here? Basically, some volatility at the open, then a breakout over the highs of the day, which were at that point 242. You can see this, let's call it a bull flag breakout. I'm not talking about risks, because risks here are measured in many dollars. But if you want to trade this stock, you have to. I mean, it was very spready, anywhere between 50 cents and $1 most of the trading day. Having said that, something amazing happened. So what can you do if you want to trade it? First of all, you don't have to trade it. If you feel that the stock is spready, you don't have a clear entry point, or you have a clear entry point and a lot of risk, and you have spreads, and normally we do not running after $200 plus stocks, because we know that what we're dealing with. We're dealing with mega volatility, slippage. They don't respect our stop losses. And even if we can trade them with a 1% or let's call it 2% risk reward, which doesn't matter if the stock is $10 or $500 for that matter, but what matters is the liquidity. And let's say you have a perfect pattern, you go for it. Take a look what happens here. Basically, the stock makes one move over the highs of the day, which were at that point 242 for $8, which is roughly 3%. Takes a swing back under the VWAP and then trades sideways for 6 hours. So what is the trend in the stock? There is no trend. So any attempt to go long for a move other than a scalp move failed. Any attempt to go short other than a scalp move failed. Can you scalp AVAV? I don't know, because I never tried. and did not attempt to trade it yesterday. Just making a point that not all the stocks on this watch list are immediate giveaway winners. Okay, let's take a look at another one. The stock that we talked a lot over our channel in the past, SharpLink. So that's SharpLink yesterday. One of the drawbacks when trading SharpLink is that you don't have at all institutional investors. You can see here major holders. It's nothing. Nobody. You don't see one big name in this stock. There are plenty of personalities like Leslie and Robert and Mackenzie and whatever, but you don't see here Goldman Sachs, and you don't see here BlackRock. And why is that? Because I guess their investment corp or group or bureau or whatever the name of their investment gathering is, passed on this opportunity. So it's clear that this stock lacks institutional traders. So how does it translate into a trade? First of all, if the public, like us, the day traders, is getting involved, we will sell immediately in the same day. So take a look at this amazing move from 10, let's call it 10, to 12. That's a 20% intraday move that turns around. What goes around turns around. It's unbelievable. So now, if in this move, if part of this move is being financed by institutional traders, those guys are not looking to cash in the same day. They're looking to cash in at $100, maybe $500 in 2-3 years. They don't have a problem to stay in a position that's going to yield them whatever their plan is. Of course, they have no plan for SBT. Now, if we go back to the daily chart of SBT, which is one of the most amazing daily charts that you can ever see. Hold on. And we discussed this daily chart plenty. The stock went through a reverse split of how much is it? 12 to 1. So from 18 cents at the lows, it became a couple of dollars. Then came the news that the stock got $450 million Ethereum, I don't know, management. They're managing now Ethereum, or they bought, or they are in a cooperation with another company. I don't remember the exact story. We'll have to, those who want to read about it, you can go to Yahoo Finance, type SBT, and maybe there is also some news here on the platform. However, I don't want to spend our time on that because we are looking at the charts basically. That's more important to us. So again, looking at the chart, at yesterday's chart, of course, if you enter at 10, you can take profits. But why would you enter at 10? So the stock is lost basically all its momentum. By the time it gathers some momentum, I mean the daily momentum, by the time it gathers some momentum, it moves very, very fast. So here, there's nothing. Suddenly, when it's up 10%, or let's say at least about 5%, it suddenly peaks into the gainers-losers list as a winner. And by the time it's up 20%, it's number 1 or number 2 or number 3 in the winners column. And then half an hour later, it disappears. So that's that's an intrusion into our list. Doesn't happen very often. Not very often you see a stock that's up and then dives. But again, that's part of the game. That's why trading is not very easy, because alongside normal trades that work and the technicalities are good, and you can get into a trade and intraday trade and get a 5 to 1 risk reward, maybe 6 to 1, sometimes 10 to 1. There are others that they're going to eat your one, and they're going to eat into your profits, and if you trade the wrong stock, you may end up losing more than 1%. So the idea here is to try to minimize losses, try to assess entries, and of course it's important to trade stocks that are hot on the daily chart. And if you know that institutional traders are behind it, it's better. Now, SBT doesn't have any institutional traders. Having said that, we can trade it or day trade it if you can find an entry point. Now, once it breaks 1025 or 1050, let's take a look. So that's 1050. The stop loss here, when you're looking for a trade, where is the stop loss? You can guess, but you know, eventually it moves higher very easy, which is fine. But I don't know if this is the right place and the right stock to trade. So you can see this is 1050. Assuming you cannot enter at 10, and by the time you see it, it's up 5%. Maybe you see it at 11, and then it gets really ridiculous because it's now a matter of luck. I don't know what kind of news came into the stock. You don't know. Nobody knows. So it's just a matter of time, as you can see, before the stock turns around, and the news were BS news. So on the way up or down, you can encounter, if you're lucky, a move of 50 cents to $1, and if you are unlucky, the same, at least 50 cents to the downside. That happens very fast. Okay, so if you're not prepared, you make a mistake, you don't have a stop loss in the platform, you didn't assess the risk quite aggressively. And again, why would you even be bothered by this stock? Okay, why would you? There are so many others that fit technical patterns, that have a trend, and don't trade in this aggressive manner. Now, let's say the stock does move higher and creates a bull flag at the highs of the day. Okay, then you can use the bull flag to assess the risk and decide if you want to enter the trade. But here you don't have almost zero technical. Let me bring in the VWAP and discuss if the VWAP was in play. Not really. So again, if you're not in a position like at 10, you're putting the trade at risk, and you shouldn't be taking the trade. That's my opinion. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen at 10:30, if it's going to make it to 11. At 11, you don't know anything about making it to 12, and so forth. So, and the movement is very fast, and we know most of the time that any move straight up, it's countered by a move straight down. This was the case here. Too bad. And another stock that we want to, look at, pretty much the same thing. That's BP, that's British Petroleum, a stock that almost never is on a daily power list, maybe once every 5 years on earnings. So there was some news. The stock spikes from 30 to 32. It's 8% or something like that, 7 or 8%. And it turns out that the news are nothing important. So there was a pickup in volume, and it comes back, and instead of moving from 29 to 32, almost 33, it ends up, it still made like 40 to 50 cents, which is nice. But again, what was the trigger to even follow BP? Zero awareness of this. This move happened in 3 minutes, guys. Okay, guys, thanks for being here with this video, and I hope it was illuminating enough. See you in our next video.